In 1941, a state was created in Europe that made Catholicism a test of the right to exist. It outlawed a rival church by decree, forcibly converted hundreds of thousands of people, and ran a death camp commanded, for a time, by an ordained Franciscan friar. The prisoners had a name for him, Brother Devil. After the Axis invasion of Yugoslavia in April 1941, a fascist movement called the Ustasha was installed over the newly proclaimed independent state of Croatia. Its ideology fused nation and faith. Catholicism counted as Croatian. Eastern Orthodoxy, the faith of the Serb minority, was treated as incompatible with the state's existence. What followed was not mob violence that a government failed to control. It was policy written down. On May 3, 1941, the regime passed a law on religious conversions. By autumn, a state office was running a program for the mass forced conversion of Serbs to Catholicism. Scholars put the number of coerced conversions at roughly 200 to 300,000 people. Conversion was marketed as the alternative to persecution. It was not always honored as one. In the town of Glina, in the summer of 1941, Serbs were gathered into the Orthodox Church in connection with promises tied to conversion. Ustasha militia then killed them inside it. Documentation preserved by the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum records more than 1,200 Serbs from Glina, forced to convert and later slaughtered, some in the very church involved. Hold that sequence in your head, because it is the whole logic of the regime in one building, the church as the doorway, and the doorway as the trap. The camp system's center was Jasenovac, a complex of camps on the Sava River, run not by the Germans, but by the Ustasha themselves. You will find wildly different death tolls for Jasenovac, and this series does not play that game. Yugoslav-era propaganda claimed as many as 700,000 dead. Some modern deniers push the number absurdly low. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum estimates between 56,000 and 97,000 people murdered at Jasenovac between 1941 and 1945. Serbs above all, along with Jews, Roma, and Croat political prisoners. The memorial site at Jasenovac maintains a name-by-name list documenting more than 80,000 individual victims. We use the conservative, defensible range because the truth is worse than the exaggeration precisely for not needing it. Here is the receipt that removes all deniability about clergy involvement because it ends in a courtroom. Miroslav Filipović-Majstorović was a Franciscan friar, ordained in 1939. He joined the Ustasha movement, and in June 1942 he became commandant of Jasenovac, and later of the nearby Stara Gradiška camp. The prisoners called him Fra Sotona, Brother Devil. After the war, a Yugoslav military court tried him for war crimes. He was convicted, sentenced to death, and hanged in 1946, reportedly still in his friar's habit. And he was not the only cleric in the machinery. Priests and friars appeared throughout the documentation of the Ustasha state, as chaplains to its militias, as agents of the conversion campaign, and, in documented cases, at the camps themselves. Now, the thing we will not do. The easy version says the Catholic Church ran Jasenovac. It did not. The genocide was planned and driven by a fascist political movement and its state. Many Croat Catholics wanted no part of it, and the Church's most senior figure in the country, Archbishop Stepinac of Zagreb, is a genuinely contested case. He initially welcomed the new state, and his church benefited from the conversion campaign. But by 1942, he was publicly preaching against racial persecution, and he sheltered individual Jews and Serbs. So we say it plainly. This was a fascist state's genocide, in which parts of the clergy participated, from which the institutional church profited in converts, and against which some churchmen eventually spoke. All of those things are true at once. So here is the receipt. A self-declared Catholic state outlawed a rival faith by decree. It forcibly converted hundreds of thousands. It murdered Serbs inside the church at Glina after conversion promises, and it killed 56 to 97,000 people at Jasenovac, a camp commanded for a time by an ordained friar, whom a court convicted and hanged. The spin says the numbers are communist propaganda and the clergy were bystanders. The rebuttal: these numbers are the Holocaust museums, not Belgrade's. The conversion campaign was law, dated, drafted, and administered by a state office. And the commandant of the death camp was a friar. That is not guilt by association. It is a hanged man's court record. Filipović got a trial and a rope. The state that made him died with the war. The reckoning beyond that remains unfinished. The numbers are still fought over. The beatification is still protested. And the church that gained 200,000 coerced converts has never given an accounting of what exactly it thought those conversions were. At Glina, there is no church anymore. It was demolished after the massacres. The building that was supposed to be the doorway to safety is an absence in the middle of a town, which is, in its way, the most honest monument in this whole story.